Subscribe to significant.
We look forward to seeing you swinging around in Marvel Spider-Man 2 when it launches October 20th, only on PlayStation 5.
Since you're a rich guy, why not buy me a PS5? Why should I buy it for you, kid? I checked out the game Marvel Spider-Man 2. That trailer I watched, it's so good. Like literally, it is why I really want like a PS5. It's so good that game. Like literally, there's Miles Morales, there's Peter Parker, and you can play both of them at the same time.
What up, y'all? It's Significant back with another video. Generally, you have seen the clips already upon my old Xbox One experiences, and actually, I have a really strong connection with it because it's my longest owned console so far. So I just came to school, and the moment I got into the car, I got to see this big box. It was like wrapped, and suddenly, when I take a look at it, it was a PS5. This really amazed me, and I would like to thank my father for that. So, in these pictures, you can see that this is a PS5 Slim console, and surprisingly, it has some Fortnite Battle Pass kind, which means I have free online access to Fortnite. Possibly, I'll try making videos on it. And apparently, EB Games Store gave a complimentary Simpsons inflatable raft kind of product. And yes, it has Homer. Now, let me give a brief history of my experience with video games. Around 2014 to 2015, I purchased a PS3 when I was at the UAE. I played lots of games like The Amazing Spider Man 1 and Batman Arkham City. I also purchased Just Cause 2, which was my only Peggy 18 rated game in my collection. Rest of them was like all Peggy 16, Peggy 12. Then in 2018, I sold my PS3 because the controllers weren't working and were not compatible with multiplayer. So I swapped to the Xbox One instead after I found out that my uncle also owned an Xbox One and played Forza Horizon 2, which is really one of my favorite games I have ever played back then. I have finished the game like around 3 times, had so much of cars, and I really got engaged with the races. The variety of car versus plane, car versus boat, car versus train, and other kinds. That's what left me mesmerized about this game. Even the graphics are really splendid. Now I'll be showing you what games I had in my Xbox One and shall be giving a separate review for them. So the first thing I have here is the Seagate 2 TB hard drive. This is where I store all of my games here in the Xbox One because my original Xbox One console has 365 gigabytes of storage which are available for downloading games and playing on them. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough, so I had to delete some games in that process. However, after I bought this hard drive for around sale of $100, this had 2 TB of storage and I got some more games to play in. Okay, so the first game I have in this list is Assassin's Creed Origins. Now, Assassin's Creed Origins is the first RPG game of the franchise, and it literally changed the entirety of Assassin's Creed by adding mythological elements involved, which I find to be really unrealistic, and the combat is too fast paced and very grounded. If I were to compare this with AC Syndicate's combat, AC Syndicate is very janky and clunky, but this one is really smooth and some of the best RPG combat I have ever seen in the franchise. Even the story got me heavily invested in. It was a perfect revenge story. So I'm gonna have to give it like a 9 out of 10. Next game we have here is Ghost Recon Breakpoint Aura Edition, not Aura. So the game has like really some fast-paced gunplay and neat stealth. And I find the gameplay to be sort of better than Ghost Recon Wildlands, which is a game that I haven't played yet. I must get that one soon. And I'll give a review on that as well. But firstly, Ghost Recon Breakpoint is really entertaining. It's like very underrated back then, and now people have started to give some respect to it, and that's what I really like to see for other people to do so. Overall, Ghost Recon Breakpoint, it indeed has some flaws, such as there are some technical bugs. Mostly the graphics don't look that kind of good, and I don't like the fact that you don't have like a holster to keep your primary weapon or your secondary weapon in. Like you have to hold it every time when you're roaming around the world. But that's not kind of a distraction to me, so that's just a minor flaw. I would give this an 8 out of 10. Next game we have here is Watch Dogs Legion. Definitely one of the most overhated games in video game history. Because after watching the gameplay reveal, I was really astonished about it. It has some unique gameplay factors and with a brand new recruitment where you can hire everyone, like anyone actually, in London, from old people to beggars of any other position. You just do you. That's the most fun fact about this game. The gameplay is really unique, even though it's heavily downgraded. The concept of the DedSec taking over London as the resistance is really epic, but the story didn't connect me too well. And some of the visuals don't look that impressive for an Xbox One game. But still, I would give this a 7.5 out of 10 rating. Next game we have here is Just Cause 4 Gold Edition. This game is also overhated. Like, I had a blast with this one. The addition to natural disasters, like majority of the game I was chasing down the tornado. I was not sticking to the story at all. I just really enjoyed the frontline wars. I did not even want to complete the game because I had a blast with those. Because the diverse range of weapons, like you can take weapons from the Black Hand or the Resistance group, and they brought in outfits for the first time in a Just Cause game. And I really got nostalgia when I got the ability to wear Rico's outfit from Just Cause 2. Because, Just Cause 2 is the game which I had in my PS3. So, in terms of nostalgia, it's a really good game. It doesn't deserve that kind of hate. The visuals are awesome. Overall, I would give it like an 8.5 out of 10. Next game we have here is NBA 2K21. So, this game, it's alright, I guess. I mean, the basketball mechanics were sorta difficult, but I had like a good time checking out the matches. But the biggest disappointment to me was the career mode. I didn't like the high school setting. It's just like a 3-year span. It's more of like a basic teens kind of story. I expected something like possibly a more unique story. Well, if you want a high school story, well, shouldn't be leaning on to so much of subplots. Like, the addition to a love interest was completely useless, in my opinion, because she didn't play that kind of a bigger role. She just simply came there and went off by a train. That's all. I would give this 6.5 out of 10. Next game we have here is Assassin's Creed Odyssey. If I were to compare this with Assassin's Creed Origins, Origins is hundreds of times better than this grinding microtransaction game. Even though I was really invested with the visuals and the massive open world, I know some people may not like it, but I really enjoyed sailing through the seas, combating the sharks underwater and encountering some really delightful sights. The game was still not appealing story-wise and performances were mid. The RPG combat just got way too rigged. I died tons of times, much more than Origins. Even I tried testing the game on easy mode. That's not even easy. Overall, I would give this game like a 4. Next up we have is the Crew 2 Deluxe Edition. Yes, back in Dubai, the Deluxe Edition was on sale. It was at a relatively cheap price. And I got all the packs. And that is something I really enjoyed about the game. The massive
landscape of the USA. Even though it's all entirely fictional, there are some missed out spots. The map is still so huge. And the fact that we got to Mexico in the game is really bizarre because it's meant to be a US centric game. But instead, there's a portion of the game. Like, partly you can go to Mexico and just check out the area where there are abandoned planes, and that's all. Well, I wish the crew too would have expanded across North America, but make it slightly smaller. Like, just shrink some of the sizes of the barren landscapes and add in Mexico and Canada portions of it. And when I mean Canada, just stop till the part of Ontario and the last place where you see it's all modern. Overall, I would give this game around a 7 out of 10. Next game we have here is definitely the most underrated game of 2015. Like the underrated of all underrated games that year. Mad Max. This game was heavily marketed to promote Mad Max Fury Road. This is the main source. And this game has really some of the most entertaining combat scenes here. The gameplay is awesome, the car combat, even the melee combat. The story was alright, but the production design, especially the intensity of the sandstorm, electric storms, and the fortresses is really unique. It was literally one of the best looking games in my Xbox One console. With that, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Next game we have here is one of the best pirate games, and if not, one of the best Assassin's Creed games ever. Skull and Bones. I'm joking. It's Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Yes, Assassin's Creed 4 Special Edition. This game is just awesome. I have no words to say it. The naval combat was really intense, and the combat even on foot, like at many other places, Havana, is just awesome to go through. That's what I really like about this game. Even though I hate the insane amount of tailing missions, I'm going to give this game a 9.5 out of 10. Next game we have here is one of the best games of all time. That is none other than Red Dead Redemption 2. I know some other people would think The Last of Us or Grand Theft Auto 5, but in my opinion, this game is just awesome. Red Dead Redemption 2, it has some of the best graphics in a video game I have seen in my console. And if I were to compare this with the game Mad Max, it would literally make Mad Max look like a plain PS3 game. Like literally. Just take a look at the numerous amount of details in Red Dead Redemption 2. The game story was amazing. I liked every single aspect of it. And with the PS5, I'm really excited to get that game one more time. But I'm also worried about the storage size as well. Hopefully it does not burn on my PS5. But why should I be worried? PS5 has such a fast frame rate. So I think this game will be a cakewalk to download there. So, easy answer. This game, Red Dead Redemption 2, 10 on 10. Next game is also from 2015 and it is Batman Arkham Knight. The fourth installment in the Batman Arkham series and the final game in the OG Arkham trilogy. This game, it's awesome. The combat was amazing. I didn't have any issues with the Batmobile. The story was really gripping. The climax was really shocking. And I really miss Kevin Conroy. He is the best Batman. Suicide Squad did dirty to him. Yes, we Arkham fans need justice. So, even though this game has some few issues with like the technical aspects, I'm gonna give it like a 9 out of 10. Next game I have here is really rare to get here in Australia. And that's the game which I mentioned in the Spider-Man 2 versus The Amazing Spider-Man 2 video. The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I had a really good time with this game. I'm halfway towards the story. And I got the Miles Morales suit. Like, I can simply call it as a prank to my friends. Like, hey guys, wanna see Spider-Man 2 in my Xbox? Check it out. It has everything. Venom powers, a big open world. You can change into anyone. Be anyone. And guess what? You can be Peter Parker. You can change into him. Just explore his home. Explore New York. Explore everywhere. Go to Stanley's comic store. Now that is some nostalgia. Even though the graphics don't look that kind of good for this kind of hardware, I still enjoy the game. I'm gonna give it like a, let's say, 8 out of 10. Next game here is definitely one of the most anticipated but overhated games of 2014, Assassin's Creed Unity. I know that day when many people packed into the stores, immediately grabbed a copy of Assassin's Creed Unity for their PS4 or Xbox One, you name it. They suddenly returned on the second day, refunded it all, because insane amount of bugs happened. A big patch happened and here I am 10 years later. I don't have an issue with the bugs in this game because there are 0 bugs right now in my console. But the combat is so frustratingly hard. I rage quit tons of times in this game. Like, I'm at level 4 right now, but it still feels hard. And I killed only one level 5 soldier, but that was out of luck. And the people who pull out their guns, the enemy AI is atrocious. Even though it has some good parkour elements and some nice stealth elements, there are many combat oriented sections of the game. And it's really impossible to play this. But it took me some time to master it all, and I cannot say that I am the best in this game, but this deserves a second chance. You should take a look at Paris. It's wonderfully constructed. It's definitely one of the most densely populated maps in an Assassin's Creed game. Overall, I'm going to give it like a 7 out of 10. Next one is definitely the most underrated Assassin's Creed game ever. Like, even Assassin's Creed Rogue was much more popular than this one right now. This is Assassin's Creed Syndicate Special Edition. This game here has really some memorable performances. Like, Jacob and Evie Fry are really amazing lead pairs. I mean, Jacob is really a goofball in this game. He doesn't take things seriously. But I like his character development from the beginning to start. From a brash kind of rowdy gangster on the streets of London to one of the most important gang leaders there in the area, while still upholding the assassin code with his sister, Evie. Yes, Evie is also a good character. She is also well written. But I play with Jacob all the time because I enjoy his kind of jokes. I mean, they're not in the same level as Spider-Man. Like, of course, Spider-Man has better quips than Jacob. In fact, Assassin's Creed Syndicate is just like Batman Arkham or Spider-Man, because there's a grappling hook literally. That's one of the most divisive aspects of the game. But I was the only person who liked it, I think. Let me know, guys, if you actually like the grappling hook in that game. Overall, I would give it like a 8.5 out of 10. Next game we have here is Middle-earth: Shadow of War. The combat is awesome. The story was really interesting. And most importantly, the orc system worked well. And what I mean by the orc system, the Nemesis system, where one of the orcs can survive death or like whatever. They can do lots of random things, absurd. Suppose if you like decapitate them, they'll suddenly come back with their head stitched properly. That's really inhuman. And at times the game felt a bit hard, but really more engaging than Assassin's Creed Unity. Overall, I would give this game a 9.5 out of 10. And here are the 3 games which I will be ranking because they're all on
the online system. Firstly, Forza Horizon 2 is a 8 out of 10 because at times the racing system wasn't that easy to control. That's why it takes some time to create modifications, but it's still a wonderful game, really nostalgic. Second one is Zoo Tycoon, and the game is really good. It's a must-play family game because you just build a zoo, allow visitors to come and check out the animals. That's all. And finally, the game which I want to talk about is definitely one of the most underrated but the most beloved action game of all time. Sleeping Dogs. Definitive Edition. It has like lots of bonus packs. I got them all. I finished the story, all DLC packs and the main story. I 100% the entire game. And as a 15-year-old, I'm proud of myself because the game wasn't that easy to do so in terms of story wise. But the combat left me engaged and mesmerized with it. And that's the best part about this game. I would give it like a 9 out of 10 because some of the graphics didn't age well. And now here comes the special awards for the best Xbox One game in my collection. Best family game is Zoo Tycoon in my opinion. The Crew 2 has a chance, but at times I feel bored with the game. But with Zoo Tycoon, the moment you finish the entire zoo, you can check out everyone being happy, doing happy stuff, all happiness. Nothing kind of scary, no bad words, no adult stuff. It's a perfect family experience. So that is why Zoo Tycoon wins Best Family Game. And the award for Best Action Game goes to Middle-earth: Shadow of War. Why? That's because even though it has a few sequences of fist combat, that still it's not a distraction. The sword combat is really engaging. There's a diverse range of weapons and costume. And the game story is really alright, I guess, but this category doesn't mention anything about story importance, but this is more into which game has some of the best combat. And I can say Middle-earth: Shadow of War has the best combat. The award for best mythological game goes to Assassin's Creed Origins. Why? Because I'm more invested with the Egyptian culture because that's one of our most frequently explored topics in our school, and this game was really helpful in learning about it. You should also check out the Discovery Tour because it has a lot of unique meaning behind the history of Egypt. The award for worst game goes to, you know it, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. This is not even an Assassin's Creed game, guys. It's just Odyssey in it. That's all. Nothing else. It's just some bad dialogues as well. The award for best story-based game goes to Batman Arkham Knight. Why? That's because I got invested in this cat and mouse chase in between like rescuing Commissioner Gordon's daughter and how Batman can tackle the fear toxin, where he hallucinates the Joker even though he's dead. And I was really invested with the game's action in cutscenes, especially the amount of fan service in this game, like the addition to Nightwing, Robin, everyone. And it's a satisfying conclusion to the Arkham trilogy. The award for best stealth game goes to Assassin's Creed Unity. It has some lots of intriguing gadgets to use to combat enemies, especially smoke bombs are really lethal in this game. You just throw out smoke, kill out one-on-one of every single enemy. No matter how much armor he puts in, he'll always get stabbed by the smoke bomb. And what I mean by stabbed in the smoke bomb, just throw a smoke bomb, use your hidden blade, boom, just kill him. I know it sounds sometimes a bit unrealistic because the armor is supposed to protect the warriors But hey, it's just a video game. Because there are many possibilities in a video game. And that's what Assassin's Creed Unity made use of in terms of stealth wise. The award for most disappointing game goes to NBA 2K21. So this game here, I expected like a really neat career mode kind of setting and something more engaging in terms of story, but the high school career did not work in my opinion. So that is why I'm giving this award to NBA 2K21. And the difference between worst game and the most disappointing game is that no matter how much a game can be disappointing, there at least be some pros. Like for instance, NBA 2K21 has a unique gameplay system. Even though it's a bit hard, I still like the addition to it. It brought in some challenge and at times I was able to score some points. But for Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I couldn't find much positive in it. Like even the underwater mechanics, while it's really unique, I didn't find it that interesting. Finally, the award for best game goes to Red Dead Redemption 2. You cannot stop this thing. It's of course my game of the year. The Game Awards really snubbed this game. Even though God of War was really engaging, I found Red Dead Redemption 2 better in terms of narrative wise. It deserved Game of the Year win. I know it got 175 Game of the Year awards, but at least this one more is still good. So that is why my personal Game of the Year is Red Dead Redemption 2. Well, that's all folks. I will be selling those games, and with my PS5 I'll try thinking about which one of those Xbox games can I bring in for the new console. And of course they will be purchased as PS4 copies. Why would I put an Xbox game into a PS, right? Anyways y'all, my name is Sid, my channel name is Significant, and I shall see you all in the next video. Peace.
Hello, I'm Spider-Man. Subscribe to Significant to give respect to this poor old spooner.